Yeah, it's true. Few days ago, I found myself in one Chinese mall. In this China mall with my wife, we encountered three teenagers. Incidentally, they were all at the age of 15 years with few months difference. So that was a bit unusual. Actually, they were having a good time as they stood one after the other to take, some picture shots for themselves in the mall. So, interested in what they were doing, I don't know, I just felt like going to ask them some few questions. And as a servant of God, I thought to bring these youths into the faith of Jesus Christ. So I asked them certain questions. Initially, they all admitted they were Christians. Each of them mentioned the name of their church. I think two of them did mention Christ Apostolic Church, and one mentioned the Assemblies of God Church. So these are huge, aged and respected, Christian organizations the world over. So in talking with them, they having admitted they were Christians, I thank God for their life, and started interacting with them. I asked them certain few questions, whether they were really born again, whether they were out of their known sins that shouldn't go with Christianity. Eventually, they came to admit they weren't born again, and they were sincere about that themselves. Looking at the fruits they were bearing, because the Lord says, by their fruits you will know them. So I looked at their outfits and their dress, and I asked them a question because they were in these tight, trouser pants, and more of a problem has to do with the way some of them cut, these trouser pants, and their ties were showing inside, the cuttings and the rest. And they were actually showing some nakedness in their trouser pants. The ties were showing. So I asked them a question. And when I asked them that question, the answer these three teenagers gave to me shocked me, because their answer was actually contrary to their outfits. And let's go and listen to the question, and you hear it for yourself. I almost asked whether you've been a prostitute before. Have you been one before?
No.
You've never been a prostitute before. Are you sure? Ever in your life? Because I asked you that which people have been wearing trousers before. Some special ladies. Ladies have been using the trousers before, not like now. And then you mentioned what?
Prostitute.
You said prostitutes. Are you right?
Something like that.
Now you mentioned that it was prostitutes who were wearing trousers before.
Possible answer.
I think
say something like that.
A, B, C, D. A, men. B, women. C, 3, prostitutes. So which of these special type of women wear trousers formally? And you mentioned something. Okay, don't complicate yourself. What was your first answer?
Prostitutes.
You said prostitutes, so you are correct. So if prostitutes wear trousers those days, how do they call them? Formally, when people, you are still young, but not too long ago, when the lady wear trousers, they think they are prostitutes, and then they call them another name. Jennifer. Who is the Jennifer? They call them another name. I thought you still score this one. Have you heard the name? Have you heard the name Apuskeleke before?
Yeah.
You heard that?
But it's not a name of yours. It's like a name of
Exactly. You've never heard that before. When you wear trousers as a lady those days and you're a prostitute, prostitutes who wear that, they call them Apuskeleke. Then they'll be shooting at them. They're shooting at them. Then they'll go and hide. They're feeling shy because when you put it on, why do they call them prostitutes? Why is that prostitutes wear trousers those days? You are 15 years. Why? Why do you think prostitutes wear trousers those days? This one, if you score this one, I'll release you from your arrest.
Why? Why?
If nature is exposing your body, so
Oh, really?
prostitutes are people who most of the times expose their body. So
If you wear trouser, it does what?
it's like you're exposing your body.
Who taught you this? You say if you wear trouser, it's like you're exposing your body. Is it true?
Yes.
Are you saying that? So that is why prostitutes wear the trouser, according to what you are saying?
Yes.
Really?
All right. So the question is, why should this youth, these teenagers, come out so clear to admit that in the recent past, as young as they were, trouser pants, they said it wasn't an outfit for ladies. And the reason was that, look at the pointed answer. They said it was known, and it is still known, that it was an outfit that, commercial sex workers, we call them slave queens or ashawus those days. According to these ladies, that's what they use to make their money. In other words, that's what they use in their business. That's one of their most suitable outfits. When you go to Proverbs chapter 7 verse 10, it says that the attire of the harlot. And I was so surprised because the answer of these three teenagers, sort of contradicts that of modern time preachers, big preachers of our time who are holding the Bible and they stand behind the pulpit. We found out that some ministers of this, our time, who have the fame and the rest of them, seems to be regrettably changing their position on this matter. I have personally realized, after making a follow-up, that the reason why most of our ministers of this time strangely have come up to defend, trouser pants on ladies is because they use certain arguments. Some come up with religious arguments like biblical history. They refer to biblical history. They look at culture, culture and tradition across nations. And using this kind of arguments and civilization, and then also, should I say, secular opinion, they seem to have thrown conscience under the carpet. So some of them are actually captured or seduced, I would say, by relying on culture and tradition of different nations and going into some biblical histories and the rest of them. And they come out with their conclusions on women or defending the fact that the ladies could go with the trouser pants. Regardless, they don't even explain as to how they use it. Regardless on how it is used, they just defend it blatantly just like that. And it's so sad. So we ask that, where is conscience? Because when you look at these teenagers, they were speaking from the perspective of conscience. So I came up with a question. That is one thing I want you and I to look at carefully. Why should we as Christians, because many times I didn't mention this aspect, our ministers of today will go so much dwelling on something called grace. And by grace we are saved, and with grace, the conscience seems to have gone dim. But I believe some ministers of the recent past, some of them we call our faith fathers, like William Myron Branham, the Wesley brothers, John G. Lake, Charles G. Finney, these holiness preachers, that we know that these are the Puritans. These are the people that God used to bring back Christianity back on its track in the recent past. All the way to some living legends like Pastor Dr. W.F. Kumuyi, and you have many of such ministers across the world. They frowned upon trouser pants. This is what I call face-to-face with the hard truth. They frowned upon it. How is it that we have so many ministers in our current time trying to use biblical history, culture and tradition, grace and what have you, to actually defend these licentious, seductive, hypocritical kind of movement that has besieged and bewitched the Christian world. Why should we, another question, as Christians, sell our conscience to the devil, all in the name of saved by grace, so I am free? Now, this is the pointed truth why I am here. I think that it is time for we ministers to come back again to tell our generation of believers to redefine what Christianity is, because the real definition of Christianity has been washed away in the name of grace and change of the system and all that. Christianity, I'm here to tell you, Christian lady and a husband who also loves those sensual appearances. Listen to this. Christianity is not about yourself. Christianity is not about how you feel and how smart you want to feel. Christianity is about others. Essentially, it's about others. That is why Apostle Paul says that if your liberty will cause your brother to offend or to fall, then you are not walking in love. Then you are not using your conscience. Christianity is not about ourselves and how smart you feel. It's about other people. A few years ago, I was in Brazil on missionary tours across a number of countries. In this mission house of Assemblies of God in Sao Paulo, the Lord brought out a lady to visit us, one of the Assemblies of God members, to visit us in the mission house. And listen to what happened. This lady came, parked her car, an American Ford, well-to-do, the husband an architect, and they came to pay us a visit in this house. She came in a very, very tight trouser pants. And apparently she wanted to learn how to use the English the more. We had a chat, and just when she was leaving, it was almost time to go to the evening service, And this Assemblies of God lady, we thought she wanted to tell us she was going to Church House Street. But she told us she is going to the house first before she comes to church. We found out why, because of the time. And she told us that we should look at what is on her. She used the two fingers like this because she's not fluent in the English language. She just did like this. So she made the sign and did like this and this. And we understood that she's not going into the house of God with this thing on her. This is in Brazil, South America, and these are also Hispanic whites. It's the same culture up there in the West and the rest of it. What was it? Finding out, you don't need anybody to tell you that this lady was using the conscience. 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 It's not about biblical history. It's not about culture, tradition, or what. It's about conscience. It's not about whether in the military, like I heard one minister saying, in the military or in the police force, the navy, the ladies there use trouser pants and co. And so, because the systems of men of the secular world is going in that depraved fashion, so, it is the right way to go. But it took a security personnel to tell me that even in the force, in the police service and the rest, there are options. You could decide as a lady to go in the trouser pants, or you could have your skirts and then you put some very good thing under, to make you look smart and better. Then one day, I was watching an international TV station, Al Jazeera. Then I saw that one of these, Eastern countries, I may say, like India or Pakistan, one of these Islamic countries, I saw some of their ladies in the security firm, the security, institutions, in trouser pants as part of their distance. And you know what? It was such loose on them. Such loose on them. And I looked at it, I said, how? And I said, fine. These people are using their conscience. That is conscience at work. There are times you meet ladies in the trouser pants, and then they have this long, the top has so come down to cover even almost as to knee level and the rest of them. What makes them do that? What makes them cover up that way? Because they know that Christianity is not about themselves and how smart and how good they want to feel, but what? About others. Christianity is about others. This is where conscience is at work.